Damien Oliver on course this afternoon, and then Americane and Juniden in 2010 and 11. And last year, Ash Run was second to a maid, went on to run fourth in a golden edition of the race on the first Tuesday in November. Here's a market 13 minutes out for the Ladbrokes Geelong Cup.
Good move in our feature race today for the Chris Waller-trained Unusual Legacy. Was a $6 chance when the betting opened, backed all the way down to $3.10. Just pushed back out slightly from $3.10 to $3.20, but a clear favourite and clearly the best backed. Was third in the Metrop last time out, and this former Kiwi has won 5 of 10 career starts, and punters anticipate will add to that record today. Stablemate to Unusual Legacy is Birdman, who did open a $5 favourite, has just eased out to $7.50, now the third elect at that quote. Muramas has been $7 into $6.50 late. The map guaranteed a start in the Melbourne Cup and an $8.50 chance to get the job done today. Herman Hess looking to continue a great recent run for the Kieran Mars stable. Best the rest there at 11. Very open. If you're chasing one at odds, the veteran Vow and Declare as much as 41 into 17, but Unusual Legacy are best backed and favourite. Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on screen or visit the website.
First run in February 1872, a Group 3 since 2002. The Ladbrokes Geelong Cup, 2,400 metres, $500,000 up for grabs. Can a maid do it and become the first horse in the history of this race to win it in back-to-back years? Roseview, 1912 and 14. Camerine, 1885 and 1887, the only dual winners of the race previously. And we start with a headline act. A Melbourne Cup winner 5 years ago, horse one, Vow and Declare. He's on the path back to the first Tuesday in November. And he's been last seen in the Might and Power, Ben. Is he set to peak here, perhaps fourth up?
Well, he'd been in fantastic form 2 and 3 starts ago. I loved his effort in the Underwood and the run chasing the likes of Duke DeSessa the start prior. Don't know what happened last time out, but forgive one run, the 2,400 looks perfect, and he's a horse that can roll forward in a race that lacks speed on paper. So forgive one run, and he looks a very big price.
He looks great. He has done for a long time now. He's got the winkers going on and just another gear change with the glue-on shoes. What I like to see with him is his action's still lovely and free. So no reason why he couldn't bounce back today.
Danny O'Brien's success 10 years ago with Caravan rolls on. 2 Francesco Guardi is a scratching. He'll head to the Moonee Valley Gold Cup on Friday night. The 3, Muramasa, was a scratching from last Saturday's Caulfield Cup as a result of the soft track. That was the surface on which he ran his only 2,400 metre race in last year's Zipping Classic. Of course, he's been a winner at 2,600 in last year's Group 3, Queen Elizabeth.
I think he's ideally suited by the conditions today. He might be at peak fitness third up. He's tactically versatile. He drops in weight with the rise in class here, and I think he's one of the better winning chances in the race.
He's absolutely spot on. The team have done a great job with him. I know that they were really upset about the wet track on last Saturday and scratched and saved for today. He looks super. He's absolutely primed.
Well, why not for a maid? Bred to Northern Hemisphere time. Officially 10.5. He was foaled on Anzac Day back in 2014. He was third in the Bart Cummings last start. Last year he was a winner at $31. And Philip Stokes said to us earlier this afternoon, Ben, he's going better than 12 months ago.
Yeah, well, he's getting out of the gates too. He actually jumped with them in the Bart Cummings. Doesn't have a lot of early speed, but look, he might be fitter again third up. If he can jump with them again off the run last time out, and the way we know he improves into a preparation, then it's very easy to make a case.
One thing you should never say about a maid is that he's jumping well, because you know what he's going to do. He's going to go out there now and he's going to miss it. He's so quirky, but he's got a really good happy look on his face. You can never pick if he's going to jump with them or be a little bit slow, but I think it looks absolutely spot on for him. He is a horse who's got a really big barrel and he can look a little bit soft. He looks fantastic for him today. 2
runners for Kieran Maher, who was sweeping his way through Victoria's staying features across the spring. The 5, Herman Hess, has grabbed a couple of those trophies. The Herbert Power, and prior to that, the Ansett at Mornington.
Well, he's a fit, in-form Kieran Maher trained stayer, so that sometimes is enough in itself. Look, he might have been flattered by the pattern last time out, and even though he's technically down in class, I think this is a stronger race than the one he won last time out.
He's got a good, confident look on his face, which I think you can never underestimate. He's in great form. He's looked really well these last few. Today's no different.
6 is the map, qualified for the Melbourne Cup via her Ramsden victory, was 6th in this race a couple of years ago after having run 3rd in the Bart Cummings prior. She was 5th in the Herbert Power as she continues to build towards the first Tuesday in November.
Went into the Herbert Power off a little setback, so maybe she's got improvement to come. But I thought she had every chance there, and this race is stronger.
She's made really nice improvement every time I've seen her, and today it's the best that I've seen her since she's been over in Victoria. So I'd expect her to run a really nice, bold race today. She's trending in the right direction.
7 El Bodegon was beaten 5 lengths in the Bart Cummings.
Yeah, look, at his best, he's run a slashing third and a Cox plate. I don't know where that form's gone, though. It's been a long time since we've seen him produce any form, so needs to improve and improve sharply.
Just getting a little bit warm on his flank. He's well conditioned for this. There are others that I prefer today, though, in a really tough race.
8 Interpretation, last year's Bendigo Cup winner before running 6th in the Melbourne Cup, was 6th in the Bart Cummings and ran on nicely.
Yeah, fastest last 200 of the race last start. That was his best performance since the Melbourne Cup last year. If he can improve again off that, then a case can be made.
He's moving really well, this horse, lovely and free in his action. He's been well conditioned. He's obviously really deep into a preparation now, so no knocks from me.
9 Unusual Legacy, 3rd in the Metrop when favourites, Land Legend and Zardozi, the Quinella, coming out and running 3rd and 4th in the Caulfield Cup last Saturday.
Yeah, ran really well following a tough run in the high-rating edition of the Metropolitan last time out. And look, notably, he started 480 there, suggesting the market's got a big opinion of his potential. Gets Joe Moreira on, fit. Hard to knock Amy, and he's pretty hard to knock from a mounting yard perspective to the untrained eye of me.
Yeah, well, to my trained eye, I can't knock him either, Ben. I tell you what, he couldn't look much better than that. If you're going to draw a picture of like a classic type of stayer, you'd probably draw a picture very similar to him. He's spot on for today.
10-man Zoyce is a scratching, another who heads to Friday night and the Valley to the 11 in one smooth operator. Brian Allison has quite the history bringing horses to Australia at this time of year. Think Cart Diamond, Bay Story, Sapta Party and Moyen Corniche, who we saw through the mid part of the 2000s and even to about a decade ago.
He might appreciate dropping down in the weights. He gets an informed Craig Williams on. He's a genuine stayer. Just whether he's sharp enough at 2400 in a race that lacks speed on paper is my question.
Had a little bit of a sweat here today. He's still a little bit wintry. He's obviously still trying to acclimatise over to our conditions. So I think that this run's going to bring him on heaps. Coming here today in just nice warmish conditions, having a good sweat, his coat's going to come through. So I'd prefer to see him today, but if he runs a bold race, well, then he's in for a great prep.
Brian Allison's got the right man for the job. Craig Williams has won 5 Geelong Cups, the first Savrocca all the way back in 2000. John McNeil's had previous experience winning this race, Steel Prince in 2020. Simon Wilde won it the following year with Charlie Rose. They combined here with the 12, Hit the Road Jack.
It was only narrowly beaten in fast time by Point King, who's rated towards the top of the Melbourne Cup market. That was 2 starts ago, and was 390 against Herman Hess last time out and ran well. My reservation is over the firmest surface for him. His best form seems to be on wet tracks.
It's the best I've seen him. He always looks a little bit soft, this horse, even when he's been racing so consistently. His coat's fully come through. I agree, he probably would like a bit more give, but he looks great.
13 is Mission of Love. The Caloundra Cup winner back in July was 5th in the Bart Cummings after being top 4 in the Benalla Cup.
She was strong late there in the Bart Cummings, which was a race dominated by the leader, but she was a $31 chance in a weaker race, and her racing pattern is the concern today.
She's a lovely mover, this horse. I was quite taken by her action, especially when she got out onto the track. She looked lovely and free in her stride, and she's done plenty of work for this.
An import debuting for Chris Waller. Bo Mertens has the keys to the Forte in Birdman, perhaps the most interesting of his 4 career starts so far. That 3rd in the Group 2 Queen's Vase at 2,800 during Royal Ascot this year behind Illinois, which ties in form with the Melbourne Cup favourite, Jan Bruegel.
It does. It looks really strong form, that one reference 2 starts ago, doesn't it, to suggest that as a lightly raced stayer, he has a seriously high ceiling at this stage of his career. So how he handles the trip over and measures up here is a little bit of an unknown. But look, he looks like he's got the potential, and he might just be better than this grade.
He looked fantastic. He's a lovely, lovely moving horse. He's very athletic. It's no surprise to see a horse of his quality. The reason why they've brought him over when you see him in the flesh. He was lovely and relaxed. He'd obviously been clipped when he came over here, coming over from a cold climate to a warmer one. He's having to acclimatise a little bit, but he looks fantastic.
15, Mr. Wolfgang, 12 days after beating Rolls at Matamata, was 6th in the Herbert Power.
It was a good run too. Fastest last 200 metres of the race there against the pattern. Might come on again for the run. The worry with him is outside gate, his racing pattern. He might be a long way off him.
I quite like this horse in the yard. He's a great type. He looked very fit and well. Good, rich colour to him.
Ben, your top 4 for the Group 3 Ladbrokes Geelong Cup.
A little bit of a leap of faith here for me with Birdman, thinking that maybe he's just the horse with the highest ceiling, and brings a little bit of different form in a very even contest that I'm going for the way of the different form. Muramasa scratched from the Caulfield Cup and might be set to peak here, rising in trip, third up from a spell, like both of his efforts this preparation. Unusual Legacy was terrific in the Metropolitan. I'm highly respecting his starting price there, and he's got a world-class jockey aboard. Vow and Declare, I note all the market support continuing for him. He's another one that the good ground and maybe the ability to put himself on the pace could really suit. Forgive One Run, and his form's outstanding. Amy, fantastic addition here at the Geelong Cup. Who was the pick of the yard?
I'm with Unusual Legacy here. I thought this horse looked absolutely spot on. I don't think the team could have him any better, and he was the one horse that drew my eye from the start, and I kept on looking back to him. My heart is always with Vow and Declare. I think that I would love to see him win. He looks great. Hopefully he can bounce back. Other horses I thought looked great: Muramasa, Amaid, Herman Hess and Birdman. But I'm with Unusual Legacy.
So are the punters. Unusual Legacy. Now, we spoke about the market before. At that point in time, had been $6 into $3.10. Subsequently eased back out to $3.50, and there's been a strong late wave of support for our favourite Unusual Legacy. $3.50 into $3.30. Birdman $6.50. Muramasa $7. The Map $8.50. Herman Hess $11. And you mentioned the move for Vow and Declare was 41 into 19 when we last looked at the market. Subsequently 19 into 15. So terrific betting race, but the best backed runner is our favourite, number 9, Unusual Legacy. Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on screen or visit the website.
Natalie Young joined us. Muramasa set to tackle the Ladbrokes Geelong Cup, third up into his spring campaign. That managed to dodge the rain on Caulfield Cup Day. I imagine you're very happy with how both your horse and the track's presented.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we're running here for $500,000 instead of $500,000, you know, but at the end of the day, it's all about running the horse, you know, and that greater scheme down the track, which is the Melbourne Cup. So, look, he hates it wet, and he's got all his conditions here today, and he's nice and fit. You know, he's had that trial in between runs over 1,400 metres at Cranbourne, and he trialled up excellent. So I think he's sort of going to present here nice and fit, even though, you know, it'd be nice to be fourth up, but yeah, I think he presents nice and fit.
Can you explain where he is physically, given you probably want him to peak ideally in 13 days' time, and you would have had him perhaps primed more so to run Saturday?
Look, basically he had the extra gallop on Saturday morning. I thought he galloped up excellent, and, you know, in hindsight, maybe he might have needed a little bit, you know. I think, you know, sticking up at 1,800 at Sandown, I think he just may have blew out a little bit that touch on that uphill rise. So, you know, I think today for the 2,400 and trialling in between, I think he's a lot more forward. But it's not the grand final, it's the semi, and if we run top 3, I'll be happy, and we won't get that weight penalty.
Daniel knows him well. Where do you think he'll ideally have him going past the winning post the first time?
Sort of hoping like Herman Hayes maybe will lead, and look, you've got Birdman, that's obviously the one to beat in the race, and obviously the favourite. But look, I think we'll probably just jump and sit sort of 5th or 6th. But he's a horse that needs rhythm, so if they really slow up and make it a walk and a sprint home, I think Daniel's going to just let him stride a little bit, because he's a horse about rhythm, and then he's got that really good kick afterwards.
All the best.
Thank you.
It's an interesting point there, the potential speed map. As good as this field is, the thing it's lacking is genuine speed on paper. So Herman Hesse will be prominent from an inside draw. You think Vow and Declare might be able to push forward. Hit the road. Jack outside of him is a horse with speed. Muramasa, as we heard there from Natalie, does have that tactical versatility. But will we see something ridden outside of its pattern, or will it be a slowly run race? We'll learn very shortly, Nigel.
We will. Here we go. The 137th Ladbrokes Geelong Cup. It's been the pathway for Media Puzzle, Americain and Dunedin to glory on the first Tuesday in November.
Round. Mission of Love. Currently a $41 chance, takes an outside alley. Vow and Declare. Goes up to barrier number 5. Hit the road. Jack is about to join them, and that will leave Interpretation and Mr. Wolfgang, who's halved its quote, Mr. Wolfgang, 51 into 26 after an eye-catcher last start. Interpretation goes in, and Mr. Wolfgang is going to be the final one. Unusual Legacy standing patiently next to One Smooth Operator. A $500,000 race. Mr. Wolfgang takes one more turn. 2,400 metres the distance of the Ladbrokes Geelong Cup. Mr. Wolfgang is in, and the field is set. They are ready, and they're racing in the Geelong Cup. Hit the Road Jack jumped away well with Vow and Declare, and Herman Hess from barrier number 1 is holding its position. El Bodegon is right there as well, almost 4 across the track. Now out wide, Mission of Love is also searching across. Mr. Wolfgang's the widest. Now Unusual Legacy has gone to the outside of the field, and it's going to be pulled up, I reckon, Unusual Legacy here. There's just something not quite right with Unusual Legacy, and the favourite has been pulled out of the race. So it's an absolute sensation here at Geelong. They leave the running with just over 1,800 metres to go, and taking the lead is Mission of Love by 2 lengths. Hit the Road Jack and Herman Hess. They were followed by Vow and Declare, who's one off the fence, and Muramasa around him. A length away the Map, and then came Mr. Wolfgang, who's 3 wide in midfield. Between horses, El Bodegon, a length away and Maid. Then came One Smooth Operator, Birdman. Interpretation is at the end of the field, and Unusual Legacy has been pulled out of the race. They swing towards the back section past the 1,400 metres, and the leader is Mission of Love by a neck, and slowed it off from Hit the Road Jack. Herman Hess is 3rd, and 4th is Muramasa, getting a lovely trail at the 1,200 metres and halfway. A length and a half the Map on the inside of Vow and Declare, and Mr. Wolfgang will sleep well tonight, 3 wide. A length and a half are made. One Smooth Operator is 3 wide, but has the back of Mr. Wolfgang at the 1,000. Then came El Bodegon, a length Interpretation, and Birdman is last of the group. Speed's been only even at best, where Mission of Love is the leader from Hit the Road Jack, and Herman Hess at the 800 metres. Mr. Wolfgang is sliding up out 3 wide to 4th, and then Muramasa behind those. One Smooth Operator, followed by the Map, who hasn't worked at all. Interpretation's getting going, and there's Birdman set alight from the back of the field. Gets to midfield out very wide with a looping run from Vow and Declare, El Bodegon, and a Maid is last as they pack around the corner in the Cup. 400 metres to go. It's Mission of Love from Hit the Road Jack. Herman Hess has got up on the inside. Mr. Wolfgang, One Smooth Operator join in now. At the 250, it's One Smooth Operator with Mr. Wolfgang. Then Herman Hess. One Smooth Operator goes to the front from Mr. Wolfgang and comes away. One Smooth Operator. 3 lengths in front. 4 lengths in front, and One Smooth Operator's going to win it easily. Interpretation has got up for 2nd from Muramasa, then a wall of them. A Maid was right there with also the Map, and behind those Herman Hess. Back behind those horses, Mr. Wolfgang. Hit the Road Jack, Vow and Declare, Mission of Love. Birdman got tired, and at the tail of the field, El Bodegon, and looking over to the 1,800 metres, Unusual Legacy has been pulled up out of the race and has broken down.
A dramatic Geelong Cup from start to finish. We wait for more information on Unusual Legacy. That is sad news indeed. But the story is Craig Williams has won his 6th Geelong Cup. One Smooth Operator goes alongside Sav Rocker in 2000, Mandela in 2006, The Fuzz the following year, Juniden in 2011, and Caravan rolls on in 2014. But maybe it's the 4th of those cups, Juniden, we need to hone in on, because One Smooth Operator has announced himself as a contender with a stunning performance to make the Geelong Cup a one-act affair in 2024. Interpretation, he looks to be on song perhaps. He ran good closing sectionals, as Ben referenced, in the Bart Cummings. He's got home as the best of the rest into 2nd. A similar story in similar colours for Muramasa for Busset and Young. That will top him off ahead of the first Tuesday in November. And the Kiwi, Mr. Wolfgang, was the best of the rest hanging on. But One Smooth Operator made the Geelong Cup a one-act affair. He was 14 into 11 on the VOP, and Craig Williams has a 6th Geelong Cup in the 21st century. And Brian Allison, we'd mentioned at pre-race, he's had good experience bringing horses out to Australia in the 21st century, a number of them that have been Cups contenders. It hasn't always necessarily gone to plan with his gallopers though. Geez, it's gone to plan there with One Smooth Operator, who has been simply dominant, Ben Ascari, in taking out the Ladbrokes Geelong Cup. That, of course, after his last run, was a 4th of 7 in the Group 3 September Stakes at Kempton in early September. That was 2 weeks after he was 7th, beaten 5 lengths in an E-ball, which we know has been a key reference every single year for our classic staying races. Things didn't quite go to plan for him in the E-ball 2-back. They've gone to plan in Geelong today.
It's been a dominant performance, and he's announced himself as a legitimate contender come the first Tuesday in November. 2 1/4 lengths was the margin. It was pretty soft on the line. The time was well inside a standard at 2:27.98. And the thing about his form, Amy, is he looks even better suited over further. So that's an exciting performance. Might have really relished getting down in the weights today and having an informed Craig Williams handle him to perfection. I love the run of interpretation. He's just building every time he goes to the races, this preparation. But there's plenty to discuss here. Let's hear from the winning connections.
Brian Allison, is one very happy Yorkshireman here in Geelong. Has one smooth operator, has been a dominant winner of the 2024 Ladbrokes Geelong Cup. Nice to finally get some luck this side of the equator, Brian.
I've been here a few times and had a few bits of bad luck, but this horse has been brilliant. He came over, he put weight on the trip over. Matt Brown rides him every day, and he's been great. He's doing good times. And I just said to Craig, he's not your normal stayer. He's got loads of speed. Because we drop him out at home. He's always had a good turn of foot, and you give him a great ride.
Tell us how long the plan has been to bring One Smooth Operator down to Australia and how that was cultivated.
Well, I kept saying to the owner, because you have to go to Australia. The owner loves his racing, the family love Andrea, they all love a race, and I said, you have to go to Australia for this time of year. It's fantastic. And I said, this horse has got a good chance. If we get in the cup, he's got a good chance.
Sense for you there was a little bit of unfinished business down here, given things haven't always gone to plan?
Yeah, you just got to put your head down and keep kicking, haven't you? Everybody has bad luck, and like we seen Saturday, everybody has bad luck, so you just have to keep your head down and keep kicking. So, anyway, I know I've got a good horse. So.
We've always had great respect for the format of the Ebor in reference to the Melbourne and Caulfield Cup on an annual basis. Can you explain to us what you made of his run in that race this year?
Well, he got too far back. I mean, basically, the idea was nothing was coming from behind in the Ebor, and the idea was sitting middle, and we just got shuffled too far back. And if you look, with 20 plus lengths turning in, it was just far too much to do. But he still ran well. He finished 7th, and then we went to Kempton, and it was too short, a mile and a half there, but they went slow. The winner won Group 1. The horse behind us finished 2nd in Group 3. So the form has been really good. It's great. Isn't it? But I think he's loved it here. He's come, and he's every day he eats £20. Never leaves anything, thrives. It's great.
So, but that perhaps the best, I know it's harking into the memory a little bit, but the best you've had a horse adapt to Australian conditions?
I would say Court Diamond had adapted. It was just unlucky with him, but he going into the Melbourne Cup was absolutely bouncing after the Caulfield, and it's just unlucky what happened. But with this horse, he's been bouncing, yeah.
Brian, the form's glistening now out of that E-ball. Well done. Roll on November.
Thanks very much. Cheers. Thank you.
Plenty to look forward to for One Smooth Operator, and another genuine contender is added to the list in the Melbourne Cup betting. Interpretation was good, Muramasa, Mr. Wolfgang, but Craig Williams is a man riding at the absolute peak of his powers. He's won the Everest last week, and now he's catching up with Nigel to speak about another, I believe, a 6th Geelong Cup victory, Nigel.
Craig Williams joins us, a 6th Geelong Cup in the 21st century. It comes aboard One Smooth Operator. What did you understand of this horse before you got to sit on him?
Thanks to racing.com and their videos, I didn't have to go through the internet too much and got to run through his replays. Actually, Paul Bloodworth was really helpful, so he'll have to discuss a compensation deal with my my manager, Jason Breen. But there was the way the makeup is of this race. With his form, it was really hard to get us to get a guide with him, but he showed some really good attributes in some of his races, and even his last time when he's beaten 7 lengths, it was still a great performance. So I was really delighted to be on his back today in today's race.
More delighted after what unfolded over the 2,400 metres. What sort of feel does he give you, and then how do you benchmark that against some of the great imports you've had a chance to ride at this time of year previously?
Yeah, I think he's well placed for this year's race, and that's all you're ever asking for. You're looking for the best horse in that year, and he ticks good boxes. The fact that he stays really well. He's been a synthetic track, a very firm track today. He's won on soft, and he runs over long distance. And today he's like riding him on cotton wool the way he was. He was so. Brian Allison and his team have done a great job. He's a really fit horse. He's a healthy horse, and he was a lovely horse to have for a rider throughout today's race. And even looking at him, I think he's only got improvement to come from him. And he'll know that he won today. He knows he's won a Geelong Cup. It's all etched in the doors down there in their quarantine barns. So he'll come from confidence from this run as well, I believe.
Brian, telling us about the speed he possesses. What did that change up in those gears feel like to you?
Yeah, look, I had the right run today from a tricky barrier draw. Worked out really well, and it was good to get an understanding of him going forward, which is great. But most importantly, he got the win, and it's a great lead-up race, especially for international horses going to the Cup. But again, it's all fantastic. We're all excited. It's great. We remembered a great horseman and an iconic figure in our industry on Monday in John Patterson, Paddo, and today we're thinking of Colin Janice McKenna. It's a bit sad. It's a bit of a sad day, and so our thoughts and prayers are with them.
Willow, as always, you're amazing that even in your most successful moments, you're always thinking of others. Congratulations on a 6th Geelong Cup.
Thanks, Nigel.
Craig Williams is absolutely flying at the moment. Let's have a look at how he's able to do it to one smooth operator who was just absolutely bolting in behind them. Got to the outside. Now, Birdman was flushed out early from last, looked to be travelling, but you could see inside him when Craig pushed the button aboard one smooth operator. Birdman couldn't go with him, the more fancied of the two internationals. Interpretation gets to the outside and finishes off strongly. Miramasa took a lot of winding up, but not a bad effort from a Melbourne Cup perspective, Amian. They need to lower the sights maybe for something around the fringes, but Vowan declared, look, if Billy Egan had his time again, I think he would have been a bit more positive early. He didn't have a lot go his way, but it's hard to talk about the others when the winner was so dominant.
That's the only horse that I really want to talk about out of the race, to be fair. I thought that he had so much improvement to come after today as well. So to see him perform that well, he's still a bit wintry in the coat. He hasn't fully acclimatised. He was quite fresh. For him to dominate like that, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Melbourne Cup in a couple of weeks' time.
That's exciting stuff going forward towards the Melbourne Cup. That's the 2024 Geelong Cup run and won. Let's head back to Terry and John at Strathalbyn.